After the hour of 6 o'clock. A very good morning to you, fun seekers. A Thursday morning, May the 20th, 1993. We'll go right back to the phones. Tampa, hi, you're on the air at WSUN.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Hey, man.
I'm mad and I'm not going to take it anymore.
What's the problem?
It's the cow's head pill conspiracy.
I tell you, it's all over the place. It's in the newspaper. It's on the wires. The whole thing, man. It's getting rough.
Well, if you remember, I talked to you a couple of days ago about it.
Mm-hmm.
Called you up and said I've been taking these things for 2 weeks and how great they are.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the feds went and raided all the Chinese markets, pulled them all off the shelves, and now we can't get them.
Well, there's some thought that perchance, actually, it's a little bit beyond perchance, they contain Valium.
You know, what makes me crazy about this whole thing is we live in a country where 400,000 people a year die from cigarette smoke, and that's it's not a shot. I know you're a smoker.
Right.
But 200,000 some odd people die from alcohol-related deaths. More than a few people die from handgun accidents. And the FDA doesn't seem to be overly concerned about those issues.
Not at all.
And they're busy out raiding Chinese markets because of tongue chewer pills. And now, I work in the addictions field, and I think I'd be somewhat cognizant of the fact that these things were mood-altering chemicals, and I'm just upset.
Well, what if they are? Well, suppose they are mood-altering chemicals. As I see it, I was thinking about this whole damn thing this morning. As I see it, I read the directions. I'm sure that you read the directions that came with them, and some of the claims are bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. And, I'm really sick and tired of being my brother's keeper in this country.
Thank you.
I'm sick and tired of spending billions of dollars a year to make sure the greedy investors don't lose their money to shysters. I'm sick and tired of a lot of things in this country. However, I was thinking, every day on the tube in this country, in every single market, hours and hours and hours and hours of unbelievable crap under the guise of religion is broadcast into American homes, making unrealistic claims, everything from curing cancer to making you rich and everything else. That's cool.
Yeah, just send me the 10 grand, brother. I'll lay the hands on you and you'll be fine.
You got it. And if that's cool, then I think that the damn cow's head pills ought to be cool. If they're going to do severe damage to you, that's a different story, but there are no reports of that.
Well, the thing about it, too, Bob, is I'm as skeptical as the next guy. I don't believe in astrology or astronomy. I don't believe in past lives or future lives. I'm a pretty much of a show-me kind of person. And I thought, all right, I'll take a package of these things. A guy suggested to me, I'll try it for a week and let me see what happens. If it makes me feel different, yeah, I'll keep it up. If not, I threw my $10 down the drain. Made me feel good. The joints don't ache anymore. They don't hurt anymore. Again, I'm a pretty skeptical guy. If it doesn't work, I'm not real interested in it. So here we go. I got my letters to the editor going out today to the St. Pete Times and the Tampa Tribune for whatever that's worth.
Oh, God, you don't write letters to the editor.
I don't usually, but I'm doing it now.
Oh, okay.
I'm mad.
Mad as hell, you're not going to take it anymore.
I appreciate you listening, brother.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
13 minutes after the hour of 5. Let's go to the post office. Hi there, post office. You're on the air at WSUN.
Hey, Bob. Good morning. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. No shooting over there or anything this morning, is there?
No, it's all quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, thank God.
Great. Hey, I got to work and watch out for mechanics with Velcro patches.
Uh-huh.
Because they're only temporary. Anyway, I had them adjust my brake light switch, or so they said. So when I was driving into work, I noticed my brake lights weren't working. But they had rewired my system to where my overhead dome lights were hooked into my turn signal.
Your overhead dome lights?
I felt like I was in a disco. I'm sitting at a light, and the inside of my truck lighting up, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, you guys really fixed it good.
Oh, that's great. I've never heard of that. How could you do that? You must have to be an electrical genius to figure out how to tie your dome lights into your turn signals.
It was incredible. I was amazed. Anyway, they turned it back the way they was before. I took it to another shop and had them fix it.
Well, it seems to me that you have.
Your day up, huh?
It seems to me that you have found two of the most brilliant automobile electrical system mechanics in the entire area: the guy that hooked it up and the guy that unhooked it.
That was the same guy.
Oh, the same guy. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you took to a different shop.
Yeah. No, they turn it back. I thought I'd lighten your day up a little bit.
Well, you certainly did, man.
Okay, yeah, have a good day, okay?
Take care.
Bye-bye.
God, no wonder those people at the post office are always shooting each other and stuff. Can you imagine? I mean, you turn on your turn signal and there goes the dome light, flashy, 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 flashy. You could give me $1 zillion, and I'd never be able to figure out how in the hell to do that. Ever, ever, ever. God, I love it. 15 or 6 o'clock. I just had the most obscene message typed up on my screen here by a Kara the bitch. It says, I won't be crying in my beer over Cheers. You see, I am probably the only
one-liners from callers.
Yeah, okay, I dropped those, I put those together like,
Kara, bitch. You moron.
Hey, honey boy, can you show me your bazooka?
yeah, I have 3 cart machines in here. There are 3 carts almost always loaded and ready to go, just in case I think that whatever the hell is on them might be appropriate.
Yeah, that's good. I thought it had to be you that did it because it was your favorite stuff, you know.
At 6:34. Now you're up to date. I'm Sharon Taylor. AM 620.
Not so quick.
What?
I noticed that you left out the sexual harassment story in this particular newscast, which I understand. But I was sitting here thinking, because obviously it's a ha-ha story, you know, woman harasses man, ha-ha. Have you ever done anything that might be constituted or might be considered, rather, as sexual harassment?
Not so as you'd notice.
I'm serious. I'm asking
No.
you a deadly serious... No! Are you sure about that? I'll tell you why I ask. I remember vividly sitting there watching the Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas hearings and not knowing who in the hell to believe because each one seemed, you know, reasonably credible and so forth and so on. And then towards the very end, it suddenly dawned on me that I have done things that could be constituted as sexual harassment in a clumsy attempt to pursue female companionship. The things that could easily have been construed as sexual harassment. So I come back and I ask you again, examine your conscience. Have you ever done anything that might have been construed as sexual harassment?
Not guilty. Oh. I haven't been harassing you or anything?
No, I wasn't suggesting that you were. I'm asking a serious question, but, you know.
I'm being serious. No.
Okay. All right. You may finish with the newscast now.
All I had left was, WSUN.
Hey,
Ghostwriting for people?
No.
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 I don't know, man. It sounds like there's something there that just there's three coincidences that just don't seem to fit. I think you're probably been moonlighting.
No, I haven't been moonlighting, but I am, I do have various different conspiracies of my own going on. As a matter of fact, I was going to plant another one this very morning.
What was that?
Well, for some bizarre reason, I can't begin to imagine why, a little backstabber. People have been calling up and ending their calls on the show with things like, great show, Kara, which, of course, is a tremendous ripoff, a shameless ripoff of the Great Show Suds thing. And so I was toying with the idea of asking some of the fun seekers in the audience to call WFLA, where, of course, we have tried to get them to, mention my name in the call letters, which is very difficult to do. So I have been considering asking, because you see the people at FLA listen to the show, and they'll know immediately what's going on. I was considering this morning asking people to call FLA and to finish their calls by saying, great show, Kara. And you see, most of FLA's listeners, they won't know what in the hell's going on. They'll have no idea.
Well, if the hearing aids are turned up, they might catch it.
But the people over at FLA, they will know. Because already now they're trembling and calling each other, saying, oh, God, be on the lookout for that great show Caroline. Oh, God, this is going to be terrible.
Hey, when you go on vacation,
That's
is there any chance... Excuse me.
That's okay. What? When I go on vacation, yeah.
Well, is there any chance that maybe we'll have some more of Kara?
I doubt it very much.
Oh, sadness.
Because they'd have to bring in a board operator, Kara, and that would cost some money.
Well, can't Boy Cheese learn how to do that?
Boy Cheese can hardly learn how to walk, you know, and tie his own shoes. Getting him to run the board would be very, very difficult. I'm going to go on vacation sometime in the middle of July. There just isn't enough time. Anybody else, of course, can be taught to run the board in about 12 minutes, but Boy Cheese would need at least 5-6 months.
Well, maybe if you, told him, put cookie labels on each button.
Don't think it would help. He'd probably eat the buttons.
Sadness.
Yeah, sadness. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, Frog.
576 WSUN.
Yeah, Lionel, you've got a great show, man. It's a fine show, but great show, Kara.
You see? Worked just fine, wouldn't it? It's just another prime example. Well, you'll understand what the prime example is after I finish telling you this story. Okay, it has to do with WCKG, which is the Cox outlet in Chicago. Now, WCKG used to be run by a man named Mark Morgan. Well, Mark Morgan instituted a very successful non-smoking policy at WCKG, so he was promoted to general manager at WSB in Atlanta, which is a much more prestigious station within the organization. And Mike Disney, who used to be the general manager down at WIOD in Miami, who also instituted a very successful non-smoking policy down there, was rewarded by being given the general managership of WCKG in Chicago. You may have heard Neil talk about Disney. He really loved him. He was very, very upset when Disney was transferred. Well, anyway, WCKG, when I got to Chicago, had about a 5.5 share and has just steadily eroded that. And even though the numbers have been cut in half, Morgan was rewarded, as I told you, because of the great non-smoking policy with being named in Atlanta. Okay, well, they had this morning dude down there, who unfortunately his name escapes me. Doesn't make any difference, or I should say up there, shouldn't I? And they didn't like the morning dude. They didn't like him at all. So they told him about 2 years ago they were going to get rid of him. But they didn't. They just kept telling him, we're going to get rid of you. You're no good. We're looking, man. We're looking. You're history. You're out of here as soon as we find somebody. And this lasted for like 2 years. Well, finally they found somebody, some dude from, I think it was Minneapolis. And they hired the dude, signed him to a 2-year, no-cut, $600,000 contract, which is really kind of wild because the rest of the people at the station don't make anywhere near that kind of money. And they put it in the paper and the whole thing. You know, they call up the radio columnist in Chicago. His name's Bob Feeder. And they called Bob Feeder and fed him all of these details. And they hired the dude and they signed him. And the dude gave notice on his gig in Minneapolis and started to get ready to move to Chicago. Well, Mike Disney decided on his own, without bothering to tell the new dude, that the morning show was going to become basically a sports show. And so they went out and they hired all kinds of sports people and news people, and they were going to do all this sports talk, which was totally alien to the guy that they hired to do the show. He doesn't know anything about sports. He doesn't give a damn about sports. He's kind of a David Letterman type of character who had great success in Minneapolis. And it's just another one of these classic cases where management who knows nothing about programming goes out and hires somebody who's very successful and then tries to change him. Oh, man, this guy did such a great job in Minneapolis. Let's hire him and bring him down here and put him in an alien atmosphere and see what happens. Well, the guy who's, finishing up his gig in Minneapolis knows nothing about what's going on in Chicago, finally gets down to Chicago, gets into town only to find out that what he thought he had signed on for, the job that he thought that he had signed on for, didn't exist. Because now he's supposed to be this kind of turnstile. And, here's the sports guy with baseball, and there's the sports guy with basketball, and, here's a Tate sports report, and there's some sports news. And so he says, no way. You people are crazy. This does, no. I'm going back to Minneapolis. Go screw yourselves. So the guy's supposed to show up at work on Monday. And he doesn't. There's all this promotion, all this hoopla, everything's in the paper. And Monday comes, and it's like 6 o'clock or whatever time he was supposed to start. And he's not there. So the station panics, and they go on the air and say, due to technical difficulties, the so-and-so show won't be heard today, but will be heard tomorrow. And they drag in some weekender guy that usually does a Best of the Beatles type of show on the weekends. They drag him in to do Morning Drive Monday. Tuesday comes, guy doesn't show up. He says, no, this is not what I signed on to do. On top of that, the chief engineer at the station, he's now pulling his hair out because there weren't any technical difficulties, and so he's embarrassed. All of his buddies, all of the other chief engineer geeks all over the city of Chicago think that his station is so crappy they couldn't even put the new show on because that's what the station said, which was a blatant lie. And what's even worse than that, the other jocks at the station, midday earns about $150,000, afternoon drive earns about $85,000. The evening girl earns about $50,000. They're going bonkers that this guy's getting, it's $250 the first year, $350 the second year. They're going bonkers. Say, oh my God, you're paying us so little, so now the air staff is in revolt. And the engineering staff is in revolt. And remember the morning guy that they said that, we're gonna get rid of you for 2 years? He's suing them for mental distress. And they have no morning man, they got nothing. But God, they've got a good anti-smoking policy in the station. This is a great business. God, I love this business. Just fantastic. It's a great company, too. What do you think the odds are that Disney will get blown out over this? Damned little. Damned little. Because he's management. And you see, if the next level of management blew Disney out, that would be an admission of their incompetence in hiring this man. So they'll blame it on everybody and anybody. Probably most of the air staff and the engineering staff will be blown out. But I'll bet you nickel Disney stays on. Bet you 2 nickels on that one. Hell, I'll give you 2-to-1 odds on it. Pinellas, 5.